the front. These two groups continue to get closer to merging. As Sean was saying, what happens when they come back together? There isn't too much flat before the next climb starts. A kilometre or two max. That's that then. 7 riders in the chase. All from different teams, all with different objectives. And all chasing Jonas Vingegaard. You rejoin us with just under 16 kilometres to go, and thankfully for the race, those time gaps we were given by the organisers were well out. It's half a minute to the chasers. The chasers have just come together. 4 riders have become 7. Vauquelin, Rondel and Steinhauser. Jonas Vingegaard, after looking like a mile in front, is just under half a minute ahead. 15 kilometres to go, 2 climbs remain. This has suddenly turned into an intriguing finish now. They're flying down back towards the River Rhône. The next climb is one we've had before in the Tour de France. 2010 Tour it was climbed. The Côte de Saint-Barthélemy-le-Plain. It's just over 3 kilometres long, 7.4%. Vingegaard will feel more at home there. Here he is descending. He's got his gap to 32 seconds. Sean, you were casting doubt as to the wisdom of their tactic, and it's certainly still not done yet, just half a minute.
No, it's not done, and you know, they are coming down very, very fast in that chasing group here, and it has grown as well. When we get on to the next climb, it will be an interesting one to see what way the gaps will That's where I think we will see the decision for the stage win. First of all, Vingegaard, you know, is he just, you know, playing a little bit careful here on the descent, and then when he gets on the climb he can just accelerate again? And you know, if they hang around it all and they look at each other, who's going to, you know, push on? That is the question here. But on the descent, you know, if you're leading, you don't have to put in a big effort to pull this group along. But when it starts to, you know, level out, and then when you start going uphill, that's where it will be interesting to see who will continue pulling this group along.
Oh, that quite stunning little viaduct there. And travelling at 40 kilometres per hour. Slight false flat up section now, and then the climb will begin. There's the race leader and the stage leader. 75 days in his career leading a stage race, Jonas Vingegaard. He's yet to win Paris-Nice, and here the chasers, 30 seconds.
Yes, and we can see there they're just across the road for the moment. I think there's a little bit of a looking who's going to continue on pulling here. I think, you know, Vauquelin, he was pulling quite a lot, but again, he's going to try and push the other ones to do a bit of the work here, because on this section now it's important that if they can just get organised, that's where they might be able to pull this advantage. But still 36 seconds out to the race leader.
They're attacking each other. You've got some of these riders who are up there in the general classification, others who've fallen completely out of it. Tejada's won, by the way. He's fallen out. He's at 9 minutes 17 seconds. He's the man to attack that, being followed by Paris-Badre. Another rider who's nowhere near that now at 17 minutes. Vauquelin follows. Rondel was the rider at the back. Tour of the Bridges, this at the moment. So glad we got the helicopter today. Glorious views from the air on a quite beautiful day. Somewhere just in front of those cars is Jonas Vingegaard, and he's about to hit the next climb. Penultimate climb of the day. It's the final classified climb of the day. Just over 3 kilometres long, 7.5% the average. how the chase is going to work. I think the gap will have grown a little bit on that section. It has, 46 seconds. And that's a result of what Sean was just talking about there. So let's see how this goes. We're right in the middle of that graphic there, just where the big number 2 is. And you can see it starts rather easy, then 8.6% in the red. And don't be fooled then by that average. There's some steep gradients here. Vingegaard's attack yesterday was at just over a kilometre from the line. 20 kilometres remain when he went off here. And he's still on his own and still putting time into those behind.
And we can see here he's 2.8 to the summit here, and this is where the chasers, there's somebody that's feeling good here. They have to try and put in this huge effort to see can they get across here on this climb. Otherwise it's just going to go further out. But 55 seconds against Vingegaard, the way he's riding here, and he's shown that he is in excellent shape, and that's what we were wondering yesterday. How good is he going to be in this difficult final? But he's proving again. Yesterday he proved it again today. He's shown that he is in excellent shape.
Martinez and Steinhauser showing some fight, but again there's a lot of looking around here. A bit of after you, sir, from Vauquelin. Did so much yesterday. There's another look. And all the while the gap grows. 58 seconds now. It's a minute. Barré-Bant's had enough. But even so, it's not that huge dig that completely snaps things. Everybody just a little scared to give it. Now then. Barré-Bant. Martinez. And now that Steinhauser goes, the other two must react, because Steinhauser's in third in the GC. He's in third in the GC. He's in the white jersey. Martinez has to chase him, as does Vauquelin. But once he gets to these two, we might get another slowdown, and this all benefits Vingegaard.
Yes, well, we can see there Barré-Bant, he put in a big one, and of course he can. He put in a big one, and of course he can do. And that's what he's thinking of, and see can he just get away and then get down to chasing the man out front. But we can see again marking each other here, and when you do that, and the little bit of looking at each other by a number of seconds again. In the meantime, up front it will be Vingegaard just keep that strong pace, and that's what we see so many times when a rider gets out in front on his own. If he's got the power like Vingegaard's got, well then you just keep on working at it, and the rival behind, they just fight with each other, who's going to continue on riding in the front, and the gap just grows out.
Mentioned a little earlier on that Jonas Vingegaard could finish the job here effectively at Bacchinis, barring any incident or accident. If the stage were to finish now, he would lead the race by over 2 minutes from his closest rival.
Yes, well, we did see signs of that yesterday, because when we see Danny Martinez, the way the team worked for him, and the pressure was on him in the final, but he just wasn't able to do it. He's not in the shape, and we look back at what he's been doing over the past while as well. You have to go a long ways back before he's been really up challenging the guys he has to do here.
Giro d'Italia a couple of years ago, the last time he was on a podium. Barré-Bant's attack, and Martinez is having to react again here. Steinhauser, victim maybe paying for all of what he's done before, is Vauquelin here. He was just behind Rondel. Steinhauser's looking good. He's defending that third place really well. The way that Vauquelin was going not so long ago, Ineos was setting up, you'd have thought that was under threat. But real credit to the young German in the white jersey. All the while, halfway up this climb, Jonas Vingegaard still having 1 minute and 8 seconds of a gap. We're just over 10 kilometres from the conclusion of stage 5 of Bacchinis, the longest of the week. Again, ridden at warp speed. The average is almost 47 k's an hour, and we are 196 kilometres in. 3,000 metres of climbing in total. Jonas Vingegaard finds himself on the attack in yellow, alone, and on the way to success. Behind, they are throwing left jabs instead of right hooks. The latest attempt to come from Martinez, but once more, it's not really knocking anybody else onto the canvas.
No, there's nobody to throw that sucker punch. Unfortunately, they're all just following each other here. And yeah, we see Steinhauser, he just continues on pushing on there, a little attack. And you know, he knows that if Vauquelin's in a little bit of difficulty, and he'll be made aware by the DSs, you know, they can see Vauquelin, he was a little bit off there after the effort he made, and he wants to, you know, pull the advantage out a bit more. What is it, 19 seconds, I think?
Yeah.
So you know, when the time is there to go for it, well, then you have to you know, do that. But the problem is, there's a lot of riders, you know, here prepared to chase when you attack. The guys who are not in the general classification will chase also. So it looks like this gap we see now, over a minute in advantage for Jonas Vingegaard. And the way they're riding behind, I can't see him being pulled back in this final number of kilometres.
He's less than the kilometre from the top now. After this, a dive down back towards, not quite all the way to the river valley this time, before an uphill finish to Colombier-le-Vieux. Martinez with the umpteenth attack from this group. It's Vauquelin this time who looks stronger again, and then there's a gap to Steinhauser. Sean was talking about those 19 seconds, and Georg Steinhauser has to do what he's done throughout the last half an hour, just work things back.
Yes, the big power there, a big guy, and you know, the sudden accelerations of the smaller riders like Martinez, you know, he's not able to match that. He just has to, you know, keep riding at that strong pace and slowly take them back. And you know, he is riding here for, you know, the place he's got, and he's going to dig deep here. The final run to the line as well is not as difficult, but again, there will be a battle here for the guys who are challenging for the places in the general classification. But I don't think there's anybody going to challenge this man. 1:16 at the moment. It looks like he's going to put more time into the general classification contenders, but also take another stage victory.
Well, he won his first stage yesterday. He's yet to win here in the yellow jersey. Only two riders have won in the leader's jersey in Tirreno and Paris-Nice down the years. It's quite an exclusive club. It's a recent club. Tadej Pogacar, Primož Roglic, and maybe now Jonas Vingegaard. He's got 9 kilometres to finish the job. And look at how that gap has grown. It's a minute and a half now, with all the stop-start antics behind. Steinhauser now looking around. Stage wind's looking like it's gone for them. Martinez again.
We can see there Steinhauser is looking at the, you know, the first attack. I don't need to follow him, but when he sees Vauquelin, you can see there he has to just stand on the pedals a bit more and, you know, get it rolling again. And you can see here they're just watching and matching and marking each other. And this is I think they know now with the advantage for the man. The advantage for the man now. To continuing on here on Paris Panther again, another just kick off, but he's not going anywhere. You can see there, you know, these attacks are not really the ones where they're nobody really that's super strong, but again, not really the terrain here where you can do that. And they're all able to pretty much mark each other, and that's what they're doing. They're marking each other outward for any chance of going for the stage, but that's, I think, well out of their reach for quite a number of kilometres already.
I'm losing count now. Valentin Paris-Panther having to attack more today than he did on Mont Ventoux. This time, though, the sound of elastic snapping. He's gone, but he is not a threat in the GC. That is why Steinhauser is not going to follow. Martinez isn't going to go after him. Danny Martinez, that is. Neither is Vauquelin. Rondel sees an opportunity to get up the road. But now that Paris-Panther has made the difference, problem is, the difference to Jonas Vingegaard is over 2 minutes. Lenny Martinez having another go. They're fighting for the scraps here. Off on a short descent again. Jonas Vingegaard is out of the way and in complete control. Complete control. And once more, it didn't take too long for him to make the difference. And I suppose we don't know until we see Everybody racing together. How would he be performing if Tadej Pogacar were here? We'll have to wait to the Tour de France to find that one out. But for you, one bit more competition and a little bit less one-sided affair, looking like good news so far.
Yes, it's looking good, and you know, he's starting the season really well, and it's going to be interesting when we do get them together, what way they will be able to challenge each other. And yeah, we did hear, like in the earlier part, he had some problems, and you'd be always concerned, you know, when the rider has problems crashing and maybe a little bit sick, and is it going to go on and on? But this man, certainly, he's, you know, in real good shape here, and the way he's been riding yesterday and again today, it's looking good, and hopefully we will see that more of a challenge in the big 3-week tours. The interesting one is there, Ineos, Oscar Onley. I thought he would be able to stay with Kevin Vauquelin here and be, you know, able to give him a hand out and try and chase. Earlier on, when Vingegaard went to the attack, I was expecting to be there and, you know, start setting that pace to maybe put Vauquelin into a better position, because he is in good shape, but he's been really marked. Every move he makes, he's been followed here because of the general classification, of course, and they know as well, as everybody see, we see, our viewers see, he's in really good shape yesterday with the performance he put in. So they're going to, you know, really react immediately when they see him going on the move.
Time gaps again have been readjusted. 1:16 to Paris-Bath. A minute and a half to this white jersey group. Just going back to Jonas Vingegaard. He's going to do the Giro and the Tour this year, and he's come out and actually said that every time he does 2 Grand Tours in a season, it's always in the second Grand Tour where he gets his best power numbers. So he's hoping by that logic to win the Giro d'Italia without expending too much, which is always the difficulty, and then go to the Tour and have those stronger numbers.
Well, they tell us the stories that suits them, and that's good for them as well. And you know,
I detect you not quite believing that story there.
Of course he's going to have to say that, because if he's doing the Giro and then he's going to the Tour up against Tadej Pogacar, he's going to, you know, come out with that and just try and work on, you know, his main challenger a bit, see will it put him under a bit of pressure. But yeah, difficult to put Tadej in pressure.
Just under 5 kilometres to go. Jonas Vingegaard in yellow, out in front. It's a story you've heard many times. It's a good news story. Certainly when you heard the stories, less positive ones, of him being on the ground in a crash and then being ill and forced to miss his first race of the season. But this is the opening race of his season. He won yesterday. He's in yellow, and after beating not just the rest of the peloton, but the weather 24 hours ago. Yes, with those makeshift adjustments. We were reliably informed that Victor Campenaerts spent quite a good bit of time doing some sartorial work, a bit of tailoring, taking away a chamois and adjusting an extra pair of bib tights to make sure that Jonas Vingegaard had a more comfortable afternoon.
Well, when Campenaerts retires, he's not going to be a tailor because he didn't do a good job yesterday.
No, the dungarees weren't the prettiest, were they? They did the job, though. It was nice to hear Jonas Vingegaard poking a little bit of fun at himself for the look. But again, the fashion in which he won, that will have had his rivals worried. So will this. Three and a half Ks to go. And it's all uphill to the finish now. No categorization to this final climb, but it is a climb to the finish, all the way to Colombier-le-Vieux. They've ridden over 200 kilometers today. And this GC lead, it's going to be touching 3 minutes, isn't it now? And that's just from first to second. I'm talking 5 or 6 minutes to third. Paris-Bath doing his best to try and surprise Jonas Vingegaard and catch him sprinting out the saddle, and you can't fault his enthusiasm here. It's going to take something special. It's not going to happen in all reality. He's still 4Ks to finish, 800 metres behind Jonas Vingegaard up the hill.
Yes, well, eventually when this man, Paddy Panther, did get away after attacking many times, Jonas Vingegaard was too far out in front. If he had been hanging out there at, 25 seconds, 30 seconds, then it would have been an interesting one. But the gap was, too much. And we can see here, it's still going on, these attacks being put in. And we can see Martinez, the one who was pushing on. He was another one who attacked quite a lot. And, yeah, the ones who are not in the general classification challenge here, well, they're the ones who are allowed a little bit more leeway. And we can see here it's really falling apart here. They're not, not going to be, I think, in any chance of getting back even to Paddy Panther. It's going to be an interesting one. He will, I think, finish on the podium here in second place on the stage.
2 minutes to that group. Paddy Panther has over half a minute on that white jersey group. You just saw the first split for a while between Vauquelin, Martinez, Danny Martinez, that is the Colombian, second place overall, and Steinhauser. A reminder that there's 19 seconds for Vauquelin to make up if he's to get onto the podium and into the white jersey. Steinhauser's holding on to that wonderfully. He's shown a different side to himself the last couple of days. You've never really seen him up there in the general classification. Of course, he rode that brilliant Giro where he won the stage. But this could be something new for him.
Yes, well, it's good to see, because when we see him in the Giro, he did some great rides and, winning that stage. And, he's a rider, a huge talent. And, he had a little bit of a down one last year. I think he didn't get many results. He was a bit sick, I think, for a while. Yeah, back to top shape here and putting up a great battle after yesterday, because he did do that solo ride for a long time. And that, on a difficult day like yesterday, that can affect you today. But it doesn't seem that it's having any problem at all. He is defending that place in the general classification very well.
Combativity prize has just gone to Jonas Vingegaard for his long-range attack. Yesterday it was shared by two brothers, the Van Dijk brothers from Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe. They know he's done it. He's just being informed of the gaps. Demonstration of his handiwork is reflected in those big gaps. Just 1.5 kilometres to go. It will be a headline start to the season. This is going so slow behind, in inverted commas, that four are coming back, including Oscar Onley. Marc Soler's there. Alex Bourdin's there to help Steinhauser. And that is Yonis Aguirre too. And Oscar Onley straight away is going to work to try and help Kevin Vauquelin. Paddy Panther still 1 minute and 40 from Jonas Vingegaard. He's got 45 seconds as I say on those behind. A reminder, it's not going to do anything for him in the GC this. But it's a valiant to try and get up there. Remember, there's UCI points as well.
And it's a French race. Frenchman. It's always nice to get up here, because Paris-Nice is the one when you start showing a little bit of shape. You don't have to be winning the stages or maybe do not major in the general classification, but if you're showing good form, well then the French are happy you're coming well. And of course there's bigger objectives for this man Paddy Panther later in the season.
And as there's a salute back home with less than 1 kilometre to ride until the latest success, whenever Pogacar or Vingegaard are racing, or maybe soon we'll have to put Del Toro and Sexas in the same category, there's always that other competition, best of the rest, because they are that far above everybody else. And that's exactly what's happening with Paddy Panther today. 147 back, 222 to the white jersey group. Still 3 days to go in Paris-Nice. 3 stages remaining, but Jonas Vingegaard is in complete control. It's been a different kind of test today. Yes, another fast start, but the weather changed. We went from horrific rainy stuff and hanging on, letting your teammates get you in the echelon with the wind howling, to today, attacking from distance. And it's going to be job complete for now.
And way ahead of schedule. 15 minutes, I think, approximately here. Yesterday, again, we see that. Just this race is going at a crazy fast pace.
Fast and furious. But with the same winner. In yellow, winning in yellow. At Paris-Nice this year. Come rain or shine, it's Jonas Vingegaard. And a stage ridden over 200 kilometres with 3,000 metres of climbing at 46 kilometres per hour. Lightning fast stuff with one of the best ever to ride, hammering home his advantage. Only something serious now will stop him winning Paris-Nice. Second place surely is to be secured by Valentin Pachipin. Celebration for Visma Lease Bike. They take their 5th victory of the season. It's 2 in 2 days. They're having a wonderful Paris-Nice. And Jonas Vingegaard, after all of those doubts, worries, rumours and problems, is showing that he is A-OK and on the way to the Giro d'Italia in fine form. Group 3 on the road is being led by Oscar Onley, doing his best to see if Kevin Vauquelin can grab something at the finish. A reminder, there'll be 4 bonus seconds available as well. Then there are 19 seconds between Vauquelin and 3rd place. Vauquelin started the day in 4th. Not just 3rd place, but the white jersey as well. Onley's really upping the pace here to see if he can make the gap. We see the celebrations continue for the Danish Paris-Nice leader. Now joining the likes of Roglic and Paul Pages. They were in 3rd and 4th place between themselves.